What it do, baby boo? It's your boy King Areno, back at it again. Today we're going to be doing a Call of Duty Modern Warfare weapons tier list. And this is going to be my personal tier list with what I've been able to be successful in between the handful of plunder or Warzone games that I have won and all the plunder games that I play and win out. And also guns that I just think are fun. I know that people play the meta and they play the best games and the best guns or whatever, but there are just some guns that are way more fun to use, especially if you're creative and in making them certain variants and whatnot. Feel free to drop a subscribe, follow here at twitch.tv/call_me_king. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, occasionally Saturday and Sunday. So Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and every once in a while you can catch me on a Saturday. But going into things, we're gonna go into. I didn't even think about this beforehand. Should I go from what I think are the best weapons, or should I just go along the lines? Because I'm not gonna lie, the majority of the pistols are going to be in the D tier. The 1911 is hard D. That could even be an F tier. The 357s are better. I'll put them in the C tier. The Deagle in this game is pretty terrible. And this is the 357 gets a bump up just because 357 you can get the snake shots. Even though they've been nerfed, they're still relatively good in close quarters. The problem was they were absolutely broken from range. So if you use them how you're supposed to use them, they're effectively like a shotgun replacement. So they're not too bad. Where's another pistol? Oh, the combat knife. Even though I love the combat knife, I love the knife, I gotta put it in the D tier. It's not really that good unless you're running it in the combat knife and riot shield duo. So I'll take the riot shield and put it up there as well. The riot shield blocks. Actually, I might put the riot shield up. It blocks all incoming damage from in front of you. You can utilize it to basically push into areas that you can't even contest with other firearms in this game. Let's see. This I'm gonna wait. The X16 is a really good pistol. It's modeled after the Glock. I believe it's modeled after the Glock 19 or so. Still a good gun, still a good pistol, but not actually the best pistol. The Renettis are good. I'll put them. Okay, so here's the caveat for the Renettis. The Renettis are really, really good now. They were broken when they were basically like a submachine gun replacement. But now they're really, really, really good if you... What's the word I'm looking for? They're really good if you actually only use a single Renetti with the burst modifier, but not akimboed. If you're using them akimboed, they are like E tier. But Renetti's non-akimboed is actually pretty nice. Where else? I think there's one. Oh yeah, the M19. M19 is actually the best pistol, in my opinion. M19 is best pistol by far. I don't know damage stat wise. I don't have the charts in front of me, but it's my favorite pistol. It's modeled after, I believe, the Sig Sauer M7, M17. So that's pretty solid. So in these class where it's just the accessory weapons, I would say the M19 best pistol. You can kit it, mod it, you can even run it akimbo. I think this is one of the best pistols that you can run akimbo, next to the snake shot akimbos, but that's again only in close quarters, so it's super situational. And then the Renettis with the burst modifier, but only single fire. Going next, we have the 725 shotgun, which is really good at range, but in Warzone is really bad. So it's two fires and a reload. I'm gonna just put that actually down in D, because if you don't land those two shots, or if you only land one and you crack armor, because again in Warzone you have 250 HP if you're fully plated, so you have 100 base health, and then each plate of armor is 50 HP. So you definitely need to land both your shots at a medium to close range. And if you're not doing that, if you're playing against people who are like slide canceling and drop shotting on you, makes for a really, really, really rough situation. I would say this one, so the Model 680 is better than the 725, but it is pump action, so you can do work on it. It's just this one you might need to get out differently. Maybe run it in the sawed off mode, so you actually have that point blank. Or no, this one you run the sawed off, but this one you at least run it in a way that you can kind of wheel and deal. I cannot see. Maybe they don't have them all. Am I tripping, y'all? All right. Well, the AK. I'm gonna put the AK in the B tier. Clearly better than the M19. Uh, hits like a tank. The problem with the only actual problem with the AK comes down to its recoil. The recoil on the gun is way too high, so a lot of your bullets end up jumping. But if you master the recoil, like in any of these guns, like if you were to play, I don't know, 50 games with the AK, you could probably figure out the recoil. Same thing with the AMAX, but we'll get to the AMAX in a second. The AUG, I think the AUG is actually a really, really, really good, very versatile weapon. I think the AUG's versatile because you can play it as an SMG and it's like a mediocre SMG, but you can also play it as like a really good assault rifle. Like it's actually like really crazy because it has an actual really, really low bullet recoil profile, but the visual recoil is like kind of all over the place. But if you just ignore the visual recoil and you just know that like where you're aiming is where your bullets are hitting, you can take out squads, you can take out solos, you can do whatever you want. Like I think this is one of the sleeper conversions because it has that 5.56 60 round drum. I think that's actually a really good weapon. The AX50. Whoo, this is tricky. So I'd say the AX50 is actually A tier. It's next to probably the newest sniper in the game. I want to say it's the was it the does this have the new one? It's the SBR something like that. Well, it's one of the new snipers. This might not be an updated list because I'm not seeing a lot of things that I thought I would be, but you know how that goes. But this is good. It's almost hit scan. There's still definitely bullet drop. It's not actually hit scan, but it works really, really well. It's I think the hardest hitting sniper rifle in the game. You can headshot down, take people out. Dragunov is actually in the F tier. There's no E tier for the Dragunov. It's in the F tier. It's actually the worst weapon in the game, hands down, by far. I guess I should move these up because I do think they're better than the pistols. Because I also wanted the closer to the letter is going to be the better, the higher I rate it. The crossbow, I love the crossbow. It's just not very practical. In solos, the crossbow is probably like B tier. If you're playing like a super slow, methodical game where you're not like playing super aggressively and stuff, but in most games, I'm gonna put it at the D tier. The EBR. It's pretty bad. It's like okay, but it's like where other guns you can one hit or two hit somebody, especially in the head. EBR takes like 3 shots, 2 shots, 3 shots. Where you're not looking for hit markers. You're not trying to crack armor. You're trying to take them down. The FAL, even after the nerfs, I would say the FAL is at a B tier. The Scar, Scar is fun to play with. It's bad until they give it like a 50 round drum or something. It having like a 25 round is not. It's just like the magazine size for the Scar is terrible. The FAMAS or the FR 5.56, also known as the FAMAS, is a really fun gun to play. You have to land your shots in Warzone. It's not a good gun to contest with, but it is a good gun if you have priority on a target. So I'm going to put it in the C tier because these guns you can actually like fire back. These guns are kind of like really, really strong. The Growl, I'm going to put the Growl in the A tier. I'm going to put the Growl at the top of the A tier. After its nerfs, it was S tier. It was almost like above S tier. It was in the OP tier. But now it's sitting calmly in the S tier. Recoil is pretty good. The hitting power at mid range or at low range and mid range could be better. At far range, it basically beams people, which is dope. The HCR is a worse sniper rifle than the AX50. I think people go back and forth. Some people like the HCR. That might be a personal preference. That just might just be me. The Holger is one of my personal. I have some oddball picks that I really love. I think the Holger is underrated. I'm gonna put it higher than the FAL right now. I think it's grossly underrated. I want to put it in S tier. I think the problem with the Holger is it doesn't have a barrel attachment. If they were to give the Holger a barrel attachment that increase range or increase recoil control, the Holger would actually jump up here. Like no jokes, jump up here. The Joker, pretty bad unless you know that you're just playing a game to take out, I don't know, a truck. The car, 98k. This you could play aggressive. I will actually put the car is the first one I'll put in the S tier. I think the car is actually one of the most aggressive sniper rifle, marksman rifles that you can play in this game. It's really strong. You have the ability to, I believe, one shot, headshot, crack shield, down them, whatever you want to call it. It's really good. The Kilo, current in its current state, I would say the Kilo is S tier. I feel like unless they stop patching the game, it'll probably end up in the A tier. It's really low recoil, decent fire rate, okay damage profile. It's the best. It's the best gun currently. I'm going to put it above the car. I think. I think the car is overall a better weapon. It hasn't had too many changes, but I'm just gonna let it ride. The M13 is here for me. Whoa. Below the growl. Whoa, do your thing, guy. Come on. Now it's just acting tricky. I think it's below the growl. Its fire rate is actually too high, if that's a thing. You run through your ammo too quickly. Not about killing process, about playing through the game. You actually run through your ammo so incredibly fast when playing with the M13. It's mind-boggling and mind-blowing. So the question becomes, okay, what are we gonna like if we're playing with the M13? If you don't have what's the name of the thing? If you don't have munitions, if you don't run fully loaded on your second loadout, like you're just gonna run out of ammo. It's a very high fire rate weapon. The M4A1. The M4A1, I'm gonna say this. It's the best gun in the game. I know that it's not as popular. It's the best gun in the game. The only reason why any of these other guns, whether it's the Kilo, whether it's the Grau, the only reason why they become popular is because they, at some point, are actually overpowered. The M4A1 is actually the most balanced gun in the game, in my opinion. I think bar none, it's like your oldie but goodie. It's your trusted. You don't have to worry too much about the M4A1. You can run it with just about every and any attachment it has. It's still gonna do you justice. It's by far the best gun all around firearm in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Because when the other guns get nerfed, the M4 is still there. Like if the Kilo were to get nerfed tomorrow, everybody's going back to the M4. Simple as that. There's no question. You're not like the fact that people move away from the M4 is only because other guns are just actually broken and like break the game. Like the M4 was the top gun, and then the Grau, people realized, oh, the Archangel barrel on the Grau is actually stupid, and that like it was basically you were able to contest sniper rifles from like 250, almost 300 meters out. So why would you run an M4? And now people are effectively doing the same thing with the Kilo. When they bring the Kilo back down to earth and make it a more reasonable gun, the M4 is going to go right back on top. So that's my soapbox speech for the M4. I think it's the best gun in the game. What's this? The M91. LMGs have a really rough way to go in this game. I will say this one's in the D tier. I don't even know if I want to do the grenade launch. The grenade launcher is a special item pickup, so it's like meant to be broken. I'll say it is behind. I'll I'll put it at the end of the list. It's behind everything else. One, you have to find it. Two, um, it's strong. It'll drop people. It'll blow up cars and everything. But yeah, I think you only get like 6 or 8 bullets, and then you get like maybe two magazines effectively. So you might get like, I don't know. It's either 12 or 16 shots, and after that you're out of them. The MG14. I'm also putting that in the D tier. Like I said, LMGs have a rough go. There's like two LMGs, the Holger being one of them. That's actually good. The Holger's really, really good. Like really good. Just needs like one more thing. This one, the Carbine, down. The Bruin, I will put in B tier. Is really, really good when it first came out, and for a while there, it was actually the most meta gun. The MP5 is god tier. It just hasn't moved. I would say the MP5 is probably more aggressive and better ranked in the car. MP7, these are the two best submachine guns in the game at like all times. The Odin has a special place in C where if you're using it and you're only challenging from really, really far range and using it almost as like a DMR, Odin is spectacular. Origin 12. Ooh, the Origin. Now, once we get to the shotgun, that's going to be interesting. So the Origin 12. Let me see. Let me put my list. VLK. Let me do the Uzi. The Uzi. I like the Uzi in solos. I don't like the Uzis in anything other than solos. So I'm gonna put the Uzi in C. The P90. P90 used to be my favorite gun in like every other Call of Duty. In this game, it's like okay. It's okay. I think it's its recoil, and you can't really do a good hip fire variant. The Pila specialty, the PKM is probably the best, if not, or as the second best, third best technically. And that's only because I think of the Holger as more of an assault rifle than a LMG. The Bruin is what it can be kitted down to be basically an assault rifle. That's what makes these two so good. You can get the 60 round magazine on the Bruin and be able to ride out. The PKM is, if we're calling these two assault rifles, the PKM is the best LMG, period. But we know how that goes. The Bison, as much as I love it, it's one of my favorites. I have to put it down. The R90, I've always been a dirty R90 user. I like when my buddies were using LMGs and I'd call them despicable for using that. I was out here running around with the R90. It's my favorite shotgun. I'm actually gonna move it above. It's more reliable than the grenade launchers because you can, go into game with it. The car is still super aggressive. The Ram 7. The Ram 7 is my personal favorite assault rifle. I think this gun gets overlooked because it has the up and to the left fire pattern versus the up and to the right, which I think like 90% of the firearms in Call of Duty, they all kick to the right, whereas the Ram, I think it's like the Ram and the M13, I think, kick to the left, making it spectacular. So I realized that this list maker doesn't have like, okay, so season 1, 2, and 3. I didn't read this before I started. So it doesn't have the AMAX, it doesn't have the SBR, it doesn't have a handful of the other firearms. The RPG, I will say with its versatility, I'll put it in B. C behind the PKM. SA87 is really, really good. I'm going to put it in B. Also, again, light machine guns that can be used as assault rifles actually just jump up in resourcefulness and like playability. The SKS, I thought this gun was going to be broken because of PUBG. It's actually just super mediocre. The Pila is pretty bad. Or the Strela is pretty bad. Pila is pretty bad. Now we're looking at the Rogue, the VLK Rogue. I will put that at a B tier. I think it's a pretty decent shotgun. I don't know which one I like better though. I think I do like the VLK versus the Origin. One with the Origin in the bottom of C, and then the Striker 45 is going to be. I'm going to put it C tier. I think the Striker 45 has the ability where you're actually able to contest at longer ranges with a submachine gun. Now, if I'm going to refine anything, this is where you get into like the nitty gritty. Everything I'm looking at is pretty okay. If I wanted to condense this, I would actually just remove the grenade launcher from the pool. I don't know. I don't know if you can actually do that. Right. Wait. Oh, it jumped up to C. But I'd remove it from the pool. I would say these two. This one being the current best assault rifle. This one being the overall best assault rifle, and this one being my favorite. I'll do something like this, and then this would be for when you're trying to take somebody out and when you're trying to beam them from across the room. Currently, and then these two are the best in their class. Growl's really got Growl's up there. M13 is really good. The AUG converted as an assault rifle is sick. The AX50 is sick. This actually I probably would move down. I would say high C. I'd say high C. Holger's better than that. HCR is better than that. The Bruin, when kitted properly, is better than the Foul. And just about everything else checks out in my opinion. Yeah, the AK is good. AK, like I said, the Renetti, you have to use a single Renetti, not akimboed, with the fire burst, and effectively you get a submachine gun. You can do work. Right shield, I might have to move it down. I love the right shield, but it's only really good. It's good against everything, but you know what I mean. Like the person you're playing against, or the people, or the team you're playing against, has to be like really good, or not. Doesn't have to be really good. They just have to know how to like divide and conquer kind of thing. In solos, great. Shotguns are fine. These guns are okay. Combat knife should probably go even lower. Again, pretend like this is off. This is like not in it, just because you have to. It's like floor loot that you have to find out, or that you have to find. Dragunov is actually the worst gun in the game. I love the crossbow. It's just not very efficient. A lot of the marksman barrel actually just kind of. I think it's the marksman barrel and the rocket launchers don't do themselves any justice. Definitely keeping the Dragunov last. Carbine's close to it. SKS can actually go up higher. I'll put it behind some of these, ahead of these pistols. And all in all, yeah, I think I'm almost happy. I know, like I said, it's missing the SA Val. The Val I would put in the A tier. I think it's actually a broken submachine gun and a subpar, what is it called? It's a subpar assault rifle. So yeah, it's missing the Val. It's missing the Fennec. The Fennec and the ISO. The Fennec would probably go in the B tier, and the ISO would go in the C tier. The AN97 would probably go in the B tier, even though I like it in its double shot burst modification, which you're able to switch to. And I think that one at range is actually pretty good if you can control a 2-round burst. Its recoil is super low, so I'd probably put that in like B. The AMAX, the AMAX, I'd probably put in A. I'd probably put it above the Growl, either above the Growl or above the M13. Would go for the AMAX. The Jack 12. I completely forgot about the Jack 12. Jack 12 in my brain is like the most broken gun ever, and then like in game it's trash. Not trash. It's just like not very. It's not as potent as you would think. Like the R90 is still a better. I'd probably say the Jack 12 is the A tier. Is the end of A tier shotgun. It's better than the other. It's better than the VLK, and it's better than the Origin, but it's not as good as the R90. Oh, I forgot about the fin. So the fin is an interesting light machine gun because it kind of plays like a assault rifle, but it doesn't lose any of the light machine gun-ness. There's no ammo conversion or anything like that. So I'd say probably like rock out with the Finn. I'll probably put it in B tier, maybe like middle B tier, like behind the Bruin. Marksman rifles, yeah, the SPR. I kept on saying, I think I might have said SBR, but it's SPR. I just couldn't remember. It's a pretty cool. I think that one is up there with the car. I'd probably have it as the second best. It's a toss up for me between the car and the SBR. I think the SBR at shorter range it's a better marksman rifle, whereas the car has a better long range, but you also have to know how to lead your shots. The Rytech is okay against armor, so that's just like a ground war game. So the Rytech for most things just being like the D tier, maybe like low C. And then the right shoe we already talked about. The items that we didn't talk about were the I believe the combat knife. No, we got the combat knife. The Kali sticks. What are they called? The Kali sticks and the katanas, right? So the Kali sticks are above the combat knife for me, and the katanas are below the combat knife. And that's it. That's it for... Wait, did we get a new pistol or anything? No, Renee's for the last new one. And that's it. That's my season 6, end of season 6, almost season 7, if they do a season 7, picks for Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, weapons tier list. Again, I want to thank you all for hanging out with me. It's your boy King. Make sure that you drop that subscription, you follow if you want to hang out while we're doing this live here at twitch.tv/call_me-king. That way you're able to interact. If you want to drop your opinion, you can sometimes influence the way I think about some of these things or the discussion and how we go there. Again, that's twitch.tv/call_me-king. I'm here Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and occasionally on Saturday. Again, that's Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And every now and again, you'll catch me on Saturday. Like tomorrow, I'll be streaming. So, thanks again for riding out. If you have any disagreements, if you want to shuffle up some of these top... I mean, the RAM, realistically, it's really, really good, but it's also my personal favorite. So I might put it like at a high A tier if I was being like 100% unbiased. But I definitely think that M4A1 is the best assault rifle in the game. The Kilo's just at the top right now because it's a little overpowered. It's not as broken as the Growl was for the majority of like season 3, 4, and 5, but it's a really good gun. If you use it, you can land your shots. The M13, if it gets any buffs ever, it'll probably take over because the fire rate is insane. You run through 60 rounds in like 2 seconds. It's actually like it fires at the rate of like of a chain gun. But yeah, I think I'm happy. If anything, I might do that just to appease the haters, but F the haters. Other than that, it's been your boy King. Thanks for dropping in. I appreciate you. Make sure, like I said, to like, comment, subscribe, do the whole 9 yards, share the video, do whatever you got to do, and I'll see each and every one of you on the other side.